Intonation is the rhythm of a language. So this is just like, to me, it's so enjoyable. You know, it's like having a music playlist, and then you've got, you know, the Brazilian rhythm, the Italian rhythm, the Mexican rhythm, and then you've got the Korean rhythm. So the cool thing is everyone has really awesome distinct rhythms. The challenge is, how do you then understand that you're bringing that into your English and then change it? So this is what I'm going to help you with. I'm going to teach you some things that will help you improve your rhythm in English so that you sound more natural. And this can make a big difference because a lot of languages, let's say Portuguese, Italian, sometimes Spanish, the inflection will go up after certain phrases. And that sounds conversational in your language, but in English, that's what we do when we're not sure or we have questions. So if you use that in English, you constantly sound like you're doubting yourself or like you're inquiring, and that can be very confusing for your listener. It can also be very negative if it's maybe you're in a relationship and you always sound doubtful, or if you're in business and you're presenting to, you know, you're pitching a big contract and you're sounding like you're not sure about the information. So this will help you. In my opinion, improving intonation is learning how to speak more accurately. And I don't mean grammar, I mean message, so that your message is more accurate and better understood. For example, here's a question that you should be asking every Monday or maybe even Tuesday, depending on when you see the person. How was your weekend? Now remember to smile because you're recording yourself, and this is also a friendly question. How was your weekend? So the intonation, it's not how was your weekend. So notice that's how maybe the Italian inflection applied to this question would sound like. But for us, it's how was your weekend? Okay, now I'm going to teach you some kind of next level things that I will go into in depth in the course, but I want you to see how it's applied right now. Don't worry about the terms that I'm using if that stresses you out, because I'm going to teach you all of that technical stuff later on. But looking at this question, how was is not separate. So this is called blending. When we have the last sound of a word is the same as the first sound of a word, they blend, and you only use that once for, in this example, the W sound. So how was, not how was, how was, how was, how was. Instead of your, it gets reduced, and we'll talk about reductions later, but it gets reduced and it sounds like your. Instead of how was your, it's how was your weekend, not weekend, weekend. So there's a slight emphasis there, so I would underline that part, and that kind of sets the tone for the whole sentence. So how was your weekend? Now notice that I highlighted half of the sentence. This is what we're going to talk about next, which is how we kind of talk in sections or phrases. Some people say chunks. It's very subtle though. Notice that I still have a dash between was and your because I don't want you to come to a full stop. Also, you can play around with the emphasis or the intonation for different purposes. For example, how was your weekend? If you're talking to a group and you've already asked that to other people and now you're asking it to a new person, then you can emphasize your. How was your weekend? So really the one you're going to use the most is how was your weekend? How was your weekend? This video is part of an advanced American pronunciation course. For the link and more details, check the video notes below.